Dave Dombrowski, end of season presser. It's an hour plus. He gets asked one question about Bryce Harper. He basically said this wasn't an elite year for a superstar player. Freddie Freeman caught strays for no reason, but he's okay. He's in the World Series. He's just as good as ever. Dave Dombrowski comes on our show and says a lot was made about nothing and he thinks he's great. And there's absolutely no truth to BS trade rumors that were floated out there, barely even floated out there. And it ran wild. Bryce actually replies and said, I've given my all to Philly from the start. Now there's trade talk. I made every effort to avoid this. It's all I heard in DC with the Nationals. I hated it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. He spoke to Matt Gelb, who put a story out in The Athletic. Harper is hurt by the comments from Dombrowski and the trade speculation. He also said, all players get hurt. I hurt my wrist this year and missed a month. Of course, I don't have full year numbers. It's disappointed to hear me being questioned about my contribution to the team. Just really hurt by that notion because I love Philly so much. And he goes on to say how, he didn't put an opt-out in there because even though he was advised to do so, he wanted them to know he's going to be there forever. Remember last year there were thoughts that his camp wanted an extension, even though there's a ton of time left. Scott Boras also spoke. I'm paraphrasing a little bit for Scott's team that's probably listening, but Scott, mostly was okay with Dombrowski's comments. He just wanted him to include the fact that he was bothered by a wrist issue this year. Okay, that's fair for Dombrowski to say, hey, he didn't have an elite year. He also had a wrist issue. That's a big deal. Okay, where are we at here, AJ? Should Bryce be pissed at the Phillies? We had Dombrowski on the other day, and he sounded super normal and chill. Like, I love Bryce, and I just said that, it was a 125 OPS plus year versus a 180 or whatever he usually puts up.
I don't know what we're pissed about here. Dombrowski never said he was on the trade block, did he? I think someone made that up. I don't know what we're mad about. It wasn't Dombrowski that said it. Dombrowski came on here. Bryce, come on here and we'll talk about it. But, I mean, he came on here and said there's absolutely no way they're trading him. He loves Bryce. He wants Bryce in Philly. I don't understand what we're mad about here. Like, I wish at one point in my career, the GM or president of baseball ops would have come on and said, yeah, about me, the way Dombrowski talked about Bryce Harper. It was pretty awesome to hear someone talk about another player like that. So I don't know why we're so angry. I mean, Kratz, you're in Philly. You're on boots on the ground there. But, man, I don't understand what Bryce is so mad about. It feels like he got mad over something that was taken out of context and not really – if you listen to what Dombrowski said, I don't kind of agree with why he's so mad.
I think he got a little bit of misinformation. I think he heard what Joel Sherman said. I think it was on a podcast. He didn't say, oh, he's like, I see him getting traded here. He's just saying that there's speculation that he could. It was very, very tame. And Dombrowski, obviously, he came on here and we didn't say anything about, hey, do you think should be traded? Dombrowski brought it up himself. And so I think Matt Gelb got him at the right time, got him maybe some misinformation, or maybe Bryce was listening to the wrong things or like going on speculation things. I think there is nobody that could have come to Philadelphia and endeared themselves more to Philly fans. I think when Dombrowski came on, a lot of people in Philly were like, okay, that's nice. I'm glad he's not being traded. And now it gets re-sparked back up by Gelb talking to him. And, I think now it's time for Dave Dombrowski to finally bury the hatchet here and just say, hey, you know what? Here's what was going on. There was never any trade speculation. That was never from me. A lot of things have, like he said when he came on, kind of taken a life of its own. Comments that he said a short snippet in an hour-long conversation. And my favorite part of it was, which I don't think a lot of people necessarily read, was Boras said, you got to let Harpery, meaning Ferrari, Harpery, when Boras uses those play on words type of things, you got to let him eat. He said, maybe get somebody behind him so the team, he doesn't have the second least number of pitches in the zone seen of anybody in baseball. Like, he's saying, hey, you know what? If you didn't think he did well, maybe get a number 4 hitter that's going to hit behind Harper to be able to protect him in the lineup, which I thought was a cool statement by Boras. selling another one of his clients that probably is going to get $400 million.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't get good production out of the cleanup spot. You can look at the numbers, right? Both OPS, or if you weight the numbers, it's even worse for Philly. So, okay, that's fine. That's fair, right?
But
He saw
Dombrowski did come on. He
43%
came on our
in the
show
zone.
and said the trade rumors weren't true. I don't understand. Like, he literally came on here and said they were not true. He didn't have, what else does he have to say? He came on here and remember, he pulled out a piece of paper at one point and was like, da-da-da-da, 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 da-da-da, and started reading out all these things. Like, what else does he doesn't have to say anything. And plus, you know what, Bryce? You have 10-5. They can't trade you. So just tell them I'm not going anywhere. And it shut. Nolan Arenado did it. If you have 10-5,
no trade
guess
clause.
what? They can't trade you.
Permanent no trade clause with the Phillies.
This episode of FT is brought to you by Huel. Cheers.
Cheers.
We got a new Huel edition here, the Daily Greens. I've got blueberry, lemon, and thyme. You've got?
I got myself peach and hibiscus. I love peach. This is delicious. Fuel for the go, man. And this is really good for your body. It's really good for your systems. Anything that has greens in it, especially from Huel, is pretty fantastic. This will get you going, a little energy, a little boost, and keep your insides feeling well too.
Yeah, developed by registered nutritionists and dietitians. Few vitamins, minerals, and superfoods. Only 25 calories, 4 grams of fiber, only 1 gram of sugar. That's the goods. Of course, we still love the Huel Black Edition. I got chocolate peanut butter. How you doing?
Strawberry banana is delicious.
Let's go. Huel makes healthy eating simple. They also just launched into Target stores nationwide. Try both products today with 15% off your purchase for new customers with the exclusive code FOUL at Huel.com/foul. Use that code and fill out the post-checkout survey to help support the show.
He said he hasn't spoken to owner or GM or president of baseball ops, whatever you want to call. But isn't this like a super simple Dave on the line? Hey, Bryce, I went and cleared it up on foul territory right after. That's really the only show you should be watching and paying attention to daily. You should go on that show too. Anyway, we're not trading you. We love you. I reiterated that. If you want, I can get the foul territory team behind the scenes to cut the clip and send it to you as well. But in all seriousness, I have the quote that started the trade speculation. And this is how the news cycle is, I don't want to say dangerous, but full of crap nowadays. Joel Sherman is an insider. He reports on news, trades, etc., just like Ken does, just like many others in the industry do, right? That's one part of the job. Those insiders also are commentators and have opinions, and they're allowed to have opinions. They write columns, they go on shows. Sometimes we bring on Ken and ask him for news. Sometimes we ask what his opinion is. That's fine either way. Joel went on his Yankee podcast and said about Bryce, I think this is a player that is angry about the contract he's currently operating under. Would I be 100% shocked if Bryce Harper gets traded this offseason? No. So all he said was, in his opinion, probably based on last year wanting an extension, he thinks he doesn't like the contract and wants to move on. So he actually said he thinks Bryce wants to go, and that's why he doesn't feel 100% shocked. Now, he might have felt 80% shocked, but not 100% shocked if he gets traded. No report, no talking to anyone on that front, right? Now, fast forward, all of a sudden, a lot of the aggregator world looks at this and says, oh, here's an insider saying that he's going to get traded. Come on. So it's a poor job on many people's case, including whoever was giving that information to Bryce, or if Bryce is seeing that online, whatever social media accounts he's following, AJC, that's the part where I think we're lost in translation. Go directly to the source. Go to the president of baseball ops, go to the owner. And like you said, it doesn't even matter anyway with the no trade clause. But on top of that, like, we're taking one sentence from an opinion podcast and we're turning it into this. What I fear is that we're going to run into front office members being so careful about every word they say. I mean, Dave Dombrowski, we mentioned, is a real talker, and he didn't say anything wrong. Now you're going to have front office dudes even more worried about any freaking word that they say because they're worried it turns into this.
Yeah, we already have enough GM speak, don't we? I mean, all these GMs that come on here, there's been a few that don't, but how many of these GMs that we get on here that say, they give you the perfect line, right? And they just have a lot of words. They don't ever really say anything or give you any opinion. We don't want that. And the guys that are good, Again, Dave Dombrowski came on here and he laid it flat on the table and said, Bryce is not going to be traded. We love Bryce. Didn't need to say anything else. Bryce, we're sorry, but I don't know. I don't know what else you can say. And yes, you're right, Scott. People take one sentence and it makes for clicks, and everybody wants to click. So, hey, Bryce Harper's going to get traded. Click, 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 click. Every person in Philly freaks out. What? And then Bryce probably gets a text from somebody. I don't know if this is true or not. Someone probably texts him and says, hey, Bryce, did you hear the rumors you're getting traded? And Bryce is probably like, what the hell are we talking about? And then he didn't even read the article. He just saw the headline. And then boom, next thing you know, he's got to go on Matt Gelb's show and defend himself, which I appreciate him doing that. But I mean, he's not getting traded. Bryce, you have 10-5, plus you have Scott Boras. Maybe Scott, if he gets you traded, he'll get you another $300 million, but you're not getting traded.
Thank you. He got duped by clickbait. It takes one phone call, and I'm sure it's happening.
I'm pretty sure he can get Sherman's number too if he needs it. I'm pretty sure that Scott probably has it. Scott Boras probably has it.
I'm sure there's been back and forth already. But again, it was only on a pod. He wasn't reporting it. Last word, Kratz.
Bryce, subscribe to Foul Territory and you'll find out all you need to find out, guy. Just hit the subscribe button. Bryce does it. Everyone else can do it.
Bryce will come on someday, but I think now is the time. But anyway, we'll get to it in the offseason. Coming up next, the Orioles have
If only we had somebody that played with him.
Who was that?
We don't have anybody in this show that's played with Bryce Harper?
Pap? What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't think that one's going to go well. Although ratings would go through the roof if we bring him on for that, right? The official public 10-year later apology or something like that.